All right. Hello. Welcome to the Nomad Reader channel where we talk about reading. Um, I guess I wanted to talk about the subject of kids can't read. Recently there was an article. Recently there was an article about the fact that college elite student cannot read at the level that seems acceptable. I think that's what it says. Yeah, the title of the article is the elite college student who can't read books. So I read a bit of the article, not completely because I cannot read it completely because I do not have a subscription to the Atlantic, and I'm not planning on to. Yeah, I'm not that interested in that, to be honest. But I think the subject is interesting because it's not the first time that I hear about that. Like a few months ago, there was like a lot of professors in elementary school that were complaining about the fact that some children were not able to read properly, you know. And this is like a generation that is in elementary school. So they will eventually reach university, college. But now we're talking about those elite student of today. Um, when I heard about that, because I saw a bit of some videos talking about the subject, and they were saying that it's not something that it is literal when they say they cannot read. They can read, but not at a level where they should be, in the sense that there are some words sometimes that they will either like not know, or they have difficulties extracting like the essence of a text because they have not been exposed to books regularly. So, well, yeah, exposed to book when they were like in high school or elementary school. They were mainly shown, well, mainly instructed to read excerpt from books and all. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, I felt a bit the same. So, as a French Quebecer, I guess like I wanted to talk about a bit about that. Because I think, yeah, obviously it's probably like not only in the US. It's probably mostly spread out. There's a lot of people who think that there's an influence of social media um, in that part. So yeah, I think it obviously makes sense. But when I think about my education, which is probably different from most people who were in the, uh, I guess, targeted in the article of the Atlantic, like I'm wondering like if it was a bit the same, I guess, because I remember when I was in elementary school, I don't really recall reading that many books. Uh, I could say the same for elementary school. And this is a channel about reading, so obviously I have an interest in reading. But in terms of school, I wouldn't say that it's school that really developed my interest in reading. It's something that I got from outside. My parents, they used to bring us to the library quite often. So like we'd go, they would just let us roam around, I guess, and pick a book if we were interested in it. I started with what's it called? Oh damn, I forgot the word. In French, it's bande dessinée. In English, comics probably, something like that. Yeah, I started with comics. So yeah, they were easier to read. You start with that, and then after a while, you want something that is more, challenging, I guess. You want to try a book, full book without images. So I did that, and yeah, I found some really interesting book, uh, like a few series that really, made me, I guess, the reader that I am today. But that was outside of school. In school, there was not that many. There's at the end of at the end of high school, I remember I was starting to read some books. They were assigning us books that were also really interesting. There was I think Flower for Algernon. That mice and yes, yeah, pseudo scientific. There was also like another book about. I don't remember the name in English, but it's also related to mices. It's called Des souris et des hommes. I'm not sure if it's the exact same translation in English, but anyways. So there was these books that we read and all, and I was not. I can say that I was really challenged by them. They were interesting. I read them at a good pace and all. But the real challenge was when I went to college after high school, and wow, because and also it's something that I guess it is important to say because I study like everything before college. Elementary school, high school, it was in French. You know, so yeah, in the course, the French courses that we had, there was a lot of emphasis on writing properly. The grammar, all that stuff. Not that many books. I think the book they really came after, if I recall properly, obviously. And and even in English, the English courses that we had, I don't really recall reading that many books in English. But at the same time, that's the reality of Quebec, and also I was not in uh, I guess in a high level English course, so that's probably the reason. I don't know about those high level courses at that time, but anyways, when I went to college, the French courses and English courses they assigned us some books, and wow, that's probably because of the school that I went to. It was not the best, but I was really challenged. I really had some difficulty. Like the first course, the first French course that I had, I completely failed it. They assigned us a book, and like when I saw the book for the first time, and I saw that it was written really in small characters, and the size of the book, I was like, I don't think I'll be able to read that. I don't think that anybody will be able to read that, but I guess the other did. They were able like to answer the question properly on the exam and all. But in my case, oh, not at all, not at all. Um, and I don't think that there was also like that much emphasis on literal, yeah, literary analysis. Um, that's the word, liter. My God, analysis. Liter Literary analysis. Sorry, I have some difficulty with this word, but anyways, so yeah, in French, I don't really recall it, but when I was in college, like it was an English school, so the dynamic was different, and in those courses there was a lot of literary analysis, which I had never done, and perhaps in French and in English it's different. I have completely no idea, um, but all of those symbolism. Uh, yeah, to really analyze a story. It's something I discovered there, and I was like, "What the fuck? Like we never did that before." So yeah, it was definitely a slap. Like I remember, I failed the first well, one of the first English course because of that. But with time and dedication and effort, I was yeah, I was able like to get through it and really get an interest, like a newfound interest in reading, because like I was reading, but I was never analyzing a story, like trying like to find like some more depth, like in the, I guess like yeah, some of the lesson that you could like get from a book, uh, like in that way. So that was really interesting, but it's not something that we did much like before. So yeah, I like I said, when I saw that article, I was like, okay, maybe it's not only me. Perhaps like it's the same thing that happened to those kids. And I think nowadays there's not that much expectation on reading. Um, most of us, most people, they don't read that much. Uh, Generally, when you say that you read something, people will expect that book to be for school. Generally, that's the assumption. So I think it says a lot about society and like the place of reading in yeah, in our day to day. So I guess what can we say? What can we do about that? That's a good question. There's a few books that I'm reading, trying to read at the moment, and yeah, it takes a lot of discipline. Um, and there's the phone that we have today. When I was reading back then, there was no phone. It was easier to read. It was easier to read. I remember I was reading in the bus even while going to school. I It was so much easier, but now there's so much distraction, and obviously, it takes a lot of discipline. It's something that you can work on, but yeah, we're still all on the same boat in that aspect. We still want to be, I guess, connected to the world. So yeah. Um, so I guess like I'll leave it at that. Like I don't know if you guys have any similar experience with reading. I would like to hear those, because in my circle there's not that many people who read. There's a few, and come to think of that, I haven't had a discussion with them, but I would need to have it. But yeah, do you think that kids can't read nowadays? Do you think that like that statement is true? Do you think that people will not read in the, I don't know, 25 years? Especially now there's a AI that can give you a summary of a book in an instant, just like that. So why should you even read? Why should you read? There's no point. There's no point, right? So yeah, give me your thoughts on that, and I'll see you on the next video.